Well, hello and welcome to PM Personality Profile. Well, we're on our way to go and interview Coach Sarpong. Now, incidentally, this guy happens to be my teacher as well. I don't even know what he's going to do, if he still remembers me and what he's going to do when I see him. But he's done wonderful. Every team that he's touched, he's been able to transform. And I know, well, little birdie tells me that he literally held the Samojan's hands and walked him into a cracker and guided him into who he is today. How true is that matter? I'm looking forward to it. I feel a bit old going to interview my teacher, but I am looking forward to it, and I'm sure you will too. And very soon we'll get there. We'll see what the reaction will be. Folks, stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. Well, eventually I have to sit down, because if you say we're going to catch up, we'll be catching up for many years, and that's how long I've been seeing my father, coach, teacher, name it all in one. Eventually I have to sit him down and start talking, because it's personality profile, and not just for me, but for everyone. So let me welcome Sharpiro. Now, you see, I always say that if you can call your teacher by the nickname, in the face, and you can ask certain questions, it means you're old. I mean, there are certain things. I mean, if you see policemen are too young, you're old. And if you can go to your teacher and ask questions, you definitely know that you're an old man now. So say I'm here to be inquisitive.
Thank you very much.
But I must congratulate you on all the good works you have done before I even start.
Yeah.
Now, on WhatsApp, there's a 1990 year group of Accra Academy, and there's a year group. So I quickly said, look, I'm going to interview Sharpiro. What question do you want to ask? The first one that came from Victor Santis, ask him where the Sharp came from.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you very much. Like every other student, I've been one before. We take delight in nicknaming our masters or teachers. We nickname teachers we like or we love.
Yeah.
Perhaps coming out from certain things that they feel the teacher does. And Accra Academy, when I entered Accra Academy,
and this is 1984.
That was 1984.
1984.
First from university, from the diploma institution, Winneba, as a PE master. I entered there by Mr. Tokai, who, gave me that opportunity to serve Accra Academy. And there was this in Tako, Accra Academy like sports. And I realized that John Miles Mills, Gayi, Pintas, Atolls, anytime we're traveling or we're going outside, they would delay. So when we're preparing to go to Winneba for the triangulars, you call it triangle, I planned our days and announced that I've seen that if people have been coming very late. Now, I give you time. By 7:30 sharp, the bus will be at the gate. I wouldn't mind who you are, the bus will leave you. And then you find your own way to Winneba. At least did I know that it became my name. So after I returned from Winneba, and the Intercorp proper at Accra Sports Stadium, Masmes got injured somewhere along the line. So I went in to attend to him. So the whole stadium boomed. Academy student, Sharpiro. I didn't know it was me they were talking about, So when we came back to school, there was a video coverage. So Mrs. Hamilton and other masters were in the hall, assembly hall. Trying to view the video coverage of our event. We won the regionals. We were very happy, Academy boys. So when my picture came on the screen, then I heard shh, but the P didn't come. And then I came another way, and I was sharp. So Mrs. Hamilton started laughing. And I said, oh, madam, who is this Sharp? He said, yeah. So from there on, it became Sharpiro. There were many accolades: Sharpiro, Sharp, Sharpido, many things. There were a lot of them, But of course, at first, I didn't want that name. But I realized that no, that was the name that could bring me together, closer to the students. So I accepted it that way. Then, since then, that you become a national name, international name. Anywhere you go, would you believe that when I went to Cameroon, at the airport, somebody called Sharpiro, welcome. I mean, yeah, I was flabbergasted. So that's how the name came about. You know, but I love the students of Aka Academy. For one, I enjoyed my teaching in Aka Academy.
Yeah.
You know, well, we had the bads and the goods in the school. You know, the bad ones, the good ones. But as a teacher,
and the middle ones.
The middle ones. Yeah. Like, you know, but then I never reported a student to the headmaster. Wow. I dealt with the student myself. So, like in other schools, you have students misbehaving, a master running to the headmaster to report that student A has done this, I want action against him. No. I will deal with you and make sure that you do the work. I remember one time I gave a student to report to me after misbehaving at 5:30 a.m. in my house, my bungalow. Could you believe that the boy was there 4:30 a.m. waiting for me to wake up? So when I woke up, I said, Sharpiro, I was there 5:30. I said, thank you very much. Go away. You know. So that's the life of these students, you students in the academy.
I know.
Yeah.
Now I want to go back. I mean, did you set out to become a teacher, or is it somewhere along the line you decided, okay, well, let me go into the teaching field?
Yeah, you know, I attended in Korea Secondary School, and I'm a pioneer student of the school. The only student who had two portfolios in the school, entertainment prefect and sports captain. And in fact, it's as if I was so much interested in sports. The sports captain, we're traveling to play. My school was fantastic in football, athletics, that's why. So I proceeded to St. Francis Training College, my post-tech course there. Actually, in those days, you write the common entrance, you pass to a school, a sixth form school, you'll be interviewed. You have to pay some money. My mother couldn't afford that money. You know, my puppy was also was very poor. So I decided to pass through teaching. I did pupil teaching for 2 years before entering St. Francis Training College in Hawaii. There, I also became the sports captain, and then that was where the turning point started. I was the sprint king in the school. That was 1970. 71 to 73. Sprinter, regional champion in 100 meters. And I anchored my school team. And then in those days, football was something. I was also playing football. Very, very popular in the Hawaii area. You know, and by some of the people in town nearly sometimes bought my clothes for me. I'd be in school, they'll bring provisions, they'll bring school, they'll bring shirts. I didn't have money to buy these things. You know, so through sports, I started getting these things. So I said, no, wow, I have to get into this. In fact, I wanted to be a pastor because in my secondary school, I was the leader of a students' Christian movement, going to preach in Presbyterian churches.
Really?
Yes, I was preaching. You know, a young boy, climbing the pulpit to preach. You know, but I think God said no. Move to sports and make it. I think he thought I will not do it well. I will not do well in the pulpit.
You'll be too blunt.
Yeah.
You're going to be too blunt for the Christians.
So that is where it started. You know, I played some teams in Puerto Rican. I played KGB Great Accounts when the late Mr. Dabo was the chairman. I played Hawaii Stores. Saboga was the chairman. Saboga and Sami were our leaders. From there, I moved down to Aboka Susubibi. I played Susubibi for 7 years. Okay. Aboka Susubibi, now defunct. You know, from there on, it started with Nyante Stars. My playmate was Alagi Slatete, who died.
Okay.
Yeah, who was my captain in Nyante Stars. I mean, I had a terrible accident, and that scared me from playing football again and to enter into coaching.
During the travels?
Yes, during the travels.
Okay.
That was at Adukrum. We're descending the hill. When the driver failed the brakes, the brake failed. So we went straight down the valley. We lost our chairman. Others got, one boy had his limbs broken. But for me, God was on my side. I may say that I had some bruises, but I survived.
Oh, this is scary. Yeah. I mean, Adukrum Hill is scary. Yeah. So then you went into full-time physical education?
Yeah. Then I had to go to Winneba to do my physical education course. With Mr. Mui, Mr. Baba, Pufa, Mr. Lamte, now Dr. Lamte, and they helped me a lot in the school. My mate is now even the head of the department of sports in Winneba, Professor Ama. You know.
Physical education. I mean, it must be a bit tiring because, you know, you have all the class. I mean, you have first two, then the second two, and then all the time you're also on the field with us, you know, jumping up and down, running, whistling. Is it tiring for you? More like, let's say if you were teaching geography, you just come and stand in front of the blackboard. This is the Atacama Desert, that's the continent, that's the ocean. You know, but you have to be up and down. How do you endure it all week?
Yeah, you know, you love the job, that's why you entered into it. And once you are trained to do these things, you don't look back again. We were trained to do that. From the classroom to the field, back to the classroom. That is the nature of the job of the course in Winneba. We were trained to endure all these stresses, and I'm happy that to date I'm still enjoying it. I would have loved even to. I'm now retired. You know, I would have loved to even get back to school and then continue with what I'm used to. You know, you love the job. If you love a job, you would like to do whatever you want to do with it. If you don't like the job, you don't like it, there's no motivation for you to do it. Yeah. You are motivated because I love the job. And then, you see, even the way you meet people, you know, from all walks of life, you know, you become popular with them. They enjoy your company, you enjoy their company, you share ideas. Oh, that was fantastic.
Popular. You see, one thing that I find is, number one, you are not a walkover. You see, because I know in certain schools that, no, he's just a PE master, but not Sharpiro. However, you were able to find that balance where even though you're not a walkover, you were still very disciplined and still the student's favorite. So how are you able to balance the two? Because there are the teachers who you can approach and they are indisciplined. I won't say indisciplined, but you know, you can walk over them. Yeah. And there are those who you can't approach at all, and you know. So how do you find the middle ground?
Well, like I said, I think the master who actually brought me into sports, Mr. Ntia Krasi, is still alive. He's in the Buta region. He taught many things in this. I mean, the way I should behave when I come out, because he was a PE master too. I was serving him, you know, and I was watching him, the way he was relating to us, the way he was joking with us. At times when we were playing, we would sit on the ground, watching us play. We enjoyed it, you know. But in Accra Academy, you know, like I said, we have the goods and the bads. But all boys school, you must strike a balance. The bad boys will start to pull your legs. The good ones also do it, and the laissez-faire are also there. You know, but as a master, you must strike the balance. You know, people who like sports, even your appearance on the field will bring people who don't want to do sports to come to do sports. You know, sometimes they come to you, they hold you, they pull you. At times, when you go to, I know Kofi Kumbeson of PCFM, during his time, you know, he was the tiniest in the class. During PE lessons, you know, Kofi will organize people to say that they will not come to PE. Sharpiro is coming. Today we won't go to PE. Then he is very vocal, but he pretends to be somebody who was not part of the revolt. So when I enter the class, I'm not going for PE. Kofi will be the first person to get out. The real leader will be on the field. The others will be in the class. You know, that is the nature of Kofi. So I enjoyed, you see, moving with such people in the school. And the balance is that you have to be free with them. At times you apply the brakes, you know. So when they're going bad, now, those of them who are now holding big positions know that at least I guided them some way, that you don't do evil things all along your life. Sometimes you mix it up, like gari with sugar, with milk, then it goes well, you know. I don't want to mention Achimota black and white. You know, when I do that, I'm getting away from Accra Academy. So you people like Gari and then Banku. So that Banku and that thing. So, I mean, it was, the balance was that I didn't want to report anybody. I needed you to come to me, report to me, and I'll call two of you. If you are guilty, I deal with you see, on the spot. So that was how I moved on with the students in Accra Academy.
I mean, one thing I also found, I mean, like anytime we did lectures in the classroom was, you didn't treat it as a subject. You treated it as a way of life, as in the need to keep healthy should be your way of life, not because you are here for the next 2 hours and you have to pass your exam. Is it how is my feeling, my impression true, or was it?
Yeah, you know, a teacher is the role model. You know, the way you walk as a teacher, the way you talk as a teacher, the way you eat as a teacher, why you perhaps make remarks, you know, why you pass me remarks, whether sour remark, bitter remark, or light one, you know, depends on your personality. The students would like to listen to you based on the way you approach your subject in the class. So they think that PE is just jumping and running. There's something to it. You go to a class, you tell them the health, the way they should keep healthy, you know, their environment, and you know, all these are taught in Winneba. You know, you go there, you will be taught all these things.
I'm going to take a break here. Another thing that you always used to talk about was hygiene. Well, I want to find out what hygiene has got to do with PE. Stay tuned. Let me talk a bit about his family. Is he allowing them to jump up and down? Or is he only us in the school? Stay tuned. Well, up close and personal with Coach Sarpong. No nonsense, man. Says it as it is, because motto of the school says, be who you are and not what you are, you know, what you think you want to be, you know. So he is who he is. But Coach, hygiene. You were always going on about hygiene. However, you know, we think physical education in rolling in grass and jumping around, so, you know, hygiene is not the first thing that comes to mind when we're talking about physical education. So what made you always preach on about physical hygiene? Because you did.
Well, for a man to be fit, you have to keep your environment very clean. You know, and even when you wash your clothes, you are doing one of the hygienic things. Throwing what do you call it, water sachet around. You know, with your compound, mosquitoes will definitely come to you. You know, I always say that, you know, flies like sugarcane. So when you choose sugarcane in your house, you are inviting flies into your house. You know, and that is exactly what I was telling you students, that even when you wake up, some of the boys, I know boys' school, they never even clean their teeth. They never iron their uniform. They just wear anything, get to class, and ironed. You know, they say, oh, Sharp is coming, they beg their course. But eventually I find them out. Go back and iron your shirt before you come to school. You know, it's to keep you healthy, you know, to build that existence in you, without hygiene. So imagine you wake up in the morning, you have this heap of things, bucket, heap of other bad things around your house, with flies coming all over. You will not feel easy. But if you are clean, why do people, paint their houses when it's Easter time? Or Christmas time? They want to look neat. They want to be healthy. They want people to come and invite them, see that, to come to their house and then see that, oh, this guy is neat. Even if you look at the house, these people here are very neat. You know, that is the essence of being hygienic, you know, so that you live long. You know, that's how I put it. You live long.
So you're, I don't know how many kids you have.
Oh, I have 5 kids.
Do you like wake them up at 5 a.m. and say, look, go and run around the block, or?
I know, it's not that my children don't do sports. Nobody plays football. You know, I even insult them. You know, I've been coaching people to go and bring money. You are sitting in the house here, say you are not doing sports. You know, my son started, a senior boy, started playing. He saw somebody's tibia broken, fractured. That was it. He stopped playing football. The other one said, I'll become a goalkeeper. He said, no, goalkeeping is not good. I'll go to the field. He started playing to a boot team. He said, no, father, I'm not going again. The last born is in this Telecom University. He is bookish. You know, he likes to play football. He took my pair of boots to school. That was, and I never know whether he sold it or he gave it to somebody. No, so incidentally, you know, pastors' children don't become pastors. You know that?
I know.
So, and even the worst type of people in society. You know, their fathers are pastors. So, in coaching, we don't have our children playing football. See, that's why we are always. You
have all the talent to give to them.
To give to them, but they don't play it. You can't force them to do it. You know. So you always go out there, help other people to go, but yours is stuck in the house. So, you know.
That's a good one. How about Mrs. Sharpiro? I mean, does she find you a handful to manage?
My wife?
Yes.
Oh, she understands me a lot. She understands that the job is just like that. You know, sometimes, at first when I started, she was peeved. She squeezed the face when I come to the house late, thinking I'm playing my marquee somewhere, you know. And as time went on, I explained to her, is that the job? As time goes on, you get to know. So when she got to know that was my first time that she got influenced by my way out. But she decided that no, enough is enough. Was when I coached House of Folk. When Nana, Mr. Elite Yambite, Tommy Thompson, Nana Santisechi, and the one that came to my house to pick me from Accra Academy to Accra House of Folk ground to be an assistant to the late DCOP Governor. Assistant. That was the era of musical youth. I don't know whether you heard of musical youth. That was the beginning when Nyakota Makolo sacked the 23 players unprecedented in the history of us. That they were a bunch of people who don't respect people. They were trying to sell markets and they should get away. They were building the team from the start. And then I was called upon to come because of my association with the Accra Academy. And Mr. Baima, who was then the head of physical education in Winneba, recommended that they should come to me to go and coach them. When they came, I told them I'm not interested in football because of the politics surrounding football. They convinced me a lot. They brought a bottle of snap and 1 CD at that time. That was enough. You know, I gave that 1 CD to my wife. Say, you snap, I don't drink. I never drank before. So just give it to somebody who comes to the house to take away. So I went to House of Folk. Then we started with the Blood Kumas, Shamokwes, Ezekiel Amons, Tete Jangos, Nana Bain, Joe Ados, Ayodas. I mean, mention them. Santofia Kwa, that was the beginning of the foundation of the new era House of Folk that has been built up to date. So, I mean, she understood the job. Now she understands it. Yeah.
See, I was surprised, you know, when I saw you coaching football teams and doing well. I didn't realize, you know, I underestimated you. I mean, let me confess. I knew you were a good person, you were a good teacher. I didn't think you were that experienced to, you know, like, you know, put the team where they were supposed to be. I mean, did you learn that as well, or is that an intuition in you? Or?
Well, like I said, it borders on where I started from. In Queen Secondary School, when I was a sports captain, my sports master was so much interested in football and athletics, you know, and I was closer to him. So that is why I also saw that I will be somebody. It is a matter of time. I will be somebody. And I haven't played before, you know, having met other coaches. I said, wow, I'll do this thing. But later did I know that it's a very risky job. You know, coaching is not all that easy. When one time a woman spat into my face for a team losing a match at the Accra Sports Stadium, woman, you know, and I was then coaching the Olympics. We lost a match at Accra Sports Stadium. She just started and then used an unprintable words on me. I didn't say anything. I just washed my face and left because if I had won the match, the same woman would have praised me. You know, I had a lot of problems. Some pouring water on me. Coach Sarpong is a juju man. When I win a difficult match, they say, "Oh, I've gone to juju." Some were stoning me.
Wow.
Nana, I've passed through a lot.
Wow.
So anytime I speak on radio or on TV, I tell people, it's from my own experience. I don't look at anybody. I have gone through all these problems, you know. So I become like a hardened criminal. So when I come out to say something, I know what I'm talking about. Nobody should, take it away from me, you know. So I'm a hardened coach, you know. Not that, you know. So for me, I think that because of the love I have for the job and the way to read, I read a lot. I had a brother in Germany who was sending me clips, was sending me books to read. And then even my boss, Governor, who died, ordered a book from UK for me. I mean, with many of these coaching, big names in coaching, who compiled a book. And then I put it somewhere, somebody also sold it. I don't know where the person has taken it. I think the person is saying, listen to me now. He has got it, bring my book back to me. You know? So for me, it has been a very wonderful thing. So, and then you relate to the players. If the players want to play for you, it's like academy. You have to be free with them, at least to some extent. You see, that's why if you are a teacher and you are a coach, it gives a leeway a little bit. You have to manage the players.
Small door.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes you put breaks. Sometimes you sack them. Sometimes no, don't do this. You know, and then you keep going. You know, so that.
But I know you have an eye. I don't know how you do it because I can never spot. Abedipele, even I saw one of them. But you, even before they become that, you would have spotted them. And I know you single-handedly held Asamoah Gyan's hand and took him to Accra and nurtured him. I want to hear that story.
Yeah, you know.
But is it true anyway?
It is true. It is true. Asamoah was then a very small boy. Asamoah is not old. You know, Asamoah is only because football has made Asamoah the way he is. He has a small boy, you know, and then that's why they call him Baby Jet. Yeah. He's a baby. He's the fourth born in the family.
I see.
And I was very close to the family, you know. So it was then that I spotted him. The father wanted him to come to Accra Academy, you know, because his senior brother was there in at this school. So they didn't want him to travel all that long. I went to Mrs. Loco, may her soul rest in peace, begging Mrs. Loco to admit Asamoah Gyan. You know, in those days, people thought if you bring a student to the school, you might have taken money from the parents to put him in Accra Academy or any other school, you know. But God forbid. I was trying to convince Mrs. Loco for 1 month before Asamoah was admitted to Accra Academy.
Wow.
You know. Then later, when Asamoah started training with us, I saw no the potential, fantastic player. But I never made him a captain in my school. He wasn't even a sports captain. He wasn't even the football captain. You know, because Asamoah is very ambitious. I wanted him to stay the way he is, you know. But you know what? He was even behind me going to Mrs. Loco. Mrs. Loco was calling Mr. Asamoah my husband. So even if people were looking for Mrs. Loco and Asamoah entered the office, they would shut the door and leave everybody. Asamoah would have to tell his story about football, of course. Then go and call Mr. Sarpong for me. Asamoah will come and call me. That's like President talking to Asamoah. It's just the same follow-up. The head of state talking to Asamoah. It started not today. It's from Accra Academy. when he had to come and call me, like, Mrs. Loco wants to see you. I said, but Mrs. Loco should have called me. He said, no, Mrs. Loco wants to see you. So I'll go, then Asamoah has come to say about the football team and say like this. You know, very ambitious. A very fantastic player. You know, at one time we were playing one of these tournaments when Asamoah had to go. You know, he likes attention to himself. Asamoah will never change. He was dribbling. When he wanted to. It's quarterfinals. He wanted to go into semi-finals and the final. So I told him, Sharpiro, change this boy. Change him from the team. Get him out. Lo and behold, Asamoah scored. So Mr. Sharpiro asked me, Sharpiro, so do I go on to change him? I sat down for some seconds to go or not to go. Well, you score second goal. No. Change that boy. I used a certain unprintable word. I said, get him out of the school, of the team. Get and sit down. So when Asamoah came out, he said, Sharpiro, so do you think I wasn't playing well? I said, you were playing well. But you had attention to yourself. It's a competition. You know, you're not a bad player. After they go, nobody can score again. You sit down. So I can score. I say, sit down. You go. And Asamoah says, you will never forget that thing in his life. When people were cheering him, you know, people like this dribbling styles. I didn't want that one. I wanted to win and get a point and get out. So he went dribbling. You know you could score. Why didn't you score? You know, he reported me to the sister. The sister called me and said, look, how can somebody score you or you go for you to take him out? I said, yes, I've done it. It will teach him in future that when you're playing and get going, you don't joke with anything. You know, even the penalty shootouts. He learned it in Accra Academy. You know, I taught him.
Penalty shootouts.
Yes,
that penalty.
Yeah.
That hit the post.
That's right. You know, I don't know whether you were around that time.
No, but I watched that match.
And you know, in Accra Academy, we train all aspects of football. I train them not on school. I train like a team, like a playment division team, or you know, I was then handling Dau, and Dau was training in Accra Academy. You know, some of the students were playing Dau team. They were in the team. Amakon, Pinso Sansa, all playing Accra Academy, Dau. You know. So one time when they placed the ball there for Asamoah to take the kick, he went to the other post with speed and hit the ball over the bar. The ball went to the other side. The students were cheering. You know, Accra Academy students. Asamoah. I sat down, called him, Nana come. You know what? Let me tell you something. If you don't learn how to take this kick here, one day I will not be surprised when you miss Ghanaian penalty. Wow. You'll be shot. It will kill you in this country. I'm telling you. So be very serious with this thing. It will carry you somewhere. Well and behold, he was taking the penalty kicks because I taught them how to take the kicks. There are some things that you do when you want to take the kick. You don't just put the ball there and kick. You have to watch the goalkeeper. You put the tip where we inflate the ball. That was the goalkeeper. Come back. You don't walk into penalty. You walk into penalty, you miss it. I taught him all these things. So when he stood by that ball, that Suarez ball, I said, my heart beat missed the beat. I was on a set with the commander. I said, commander, someone may miss this ball. So, coach, don't say that. I said, no, I know what I'm talking about. Lo and behold, the ball went off. So, commander said that, do you look into crystal ball? I said, no, I know the type of person I'm dealing with. He's my boy. I know how far he can go, you know. So that ended it. I think he has learned a lesson from that one.
Wow. On that note, stay tuned. We're coming back on current affairs. You know why I have my ball? Well, it's World Cup series, and we need to find out what's going on with the Black Stars. Stay tuned. Well, I hope you're enjoying the World Cup series. I mean, it's World Cup series, so all through our personality profile, we are talking to sports thespians, if I may say, and I've met up with my old teacher, my old mentor, master, Coach Sarpong, Sharpiro, as we used to call him. So, but Black Stars and what happened? I mean, I don't know where to begin from. From the indiscipline in the camp, from demanding of foreign currency, which has been outlawed in the country. Let me start from this way. I mean, could Kwesi Appiah have held on to the team much better, or this is the best that could happen? I mean, the boys are too rich. There's nothing you can do.
Well, I told you I wanted to be a pastor, but by the end of something, I had to swerve. Yeah. You know, when the Israelites were chased by the Philistines, they would have annihilated them. But God instructed Moses to use the rod to part the river for them to pass through. And then the Israelites would have liked to forget this episode in their lives. If they were alive, they would have not think about the Philistines chasing them when they were about a meter away. You know, I would have laughed. I'm bringing this because I would have thought we would have forgotten this thing. It's history. And because of the painful way we exited, I think people are still talking about this thing. Kwesi is a fantastic coach. I coach Kwesi in Kotoko. Wow. You know, he and the Maxwell Konedu, Opelia, many of them, Odum, others. That was in 1992. Kwesi, by nature, is a quiet type. He's an introvert. You know, I use the word introvert. Yeah. And it's very difficult for Kwesi to speak in the face of some people. I mean, to say something. Even when he's giving that interview, you can know. It's very difficult for him to talk. Now, I don't know why he also chose to become a coach, because coaches, you have to be that type of stubborn, I mean, outspoken, answer questions. Kwesi is not that type. I think some of the players took Kwesi's demeanor to mean weakness. I beg to differ. The failure of the team in South Africa, in Brazil, should not be put at the doorsteps of Kwesi alone, because they went there as a collective unit. You know, so when there's a failure, everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry must take a bite of it. From playing body, from management to playing body, to whoever is there, from even supporters who went there, they must also take the blame. It's very sad that when we're thinking of going ahead, making strides from quarterfinals to semi-finals, eventually ending up in the finals, it didn't come that way. Man proposes, God disposes. I think God knows why it has happened this way. You know, I will not say the players didn't play well. Many things happened in the camp. I'm not privy to what happened. I didn't go to Brazil. But from what we heard, the reports that we heard, whether they were true or not, like I said, we're not there. Nana, you were not there with me. But if all that they were saying were true, it means there was total distraction in the team. Coming from player selection, coming from money issues, coming from other issues that emboldened the team. That should tell you that from day one, it was a failure. Because when distractions occur in your team, the coach loses balance. Because like money issue, is that the coach who should go for money for the players? You know, he has not got that money to give to the players. And the players have decided not to train. So he can also go and carry them to the field. You see, it's not like students who can use cane, get out and play, train, even in the rain. But no, these are mature players, professionals, you know. And that's what I said. I said something like that. Did they ever doubt it? Did they ever doubt the sincerity of the FA to go that length, that if you don't give us money, we will not play? The coach's hands were tied, you know. And then he loses balance. And if he doesn't take care, he will lose grip of the team. So when money issues crop up, nobody hears, listen to anybody. They go their own way, you know. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying that. The fault must be shared by everybody in the team.
Could the coach have inspired the players that, listen, if we go further than this stage, you know, we will earn more money. And after all, you know, nobody's dying of hunger or anything. Yeah. Let us go further because we can demand more. I mean, could that have inspired the boys?
Kwesi might have told them this. I'm talking from the coach's perspective. Kwesi might have told the captains and then the senior players in the team. But unfortunately, some of the players who were supposed to back the coach, the senior players, were those who were revolting. You know? So there was no way. You couldn't go to the junior player to go and talk to the senior player. You understand what I'm saying? So it was very difficult. You know? So Kwesi's hands were tied. I come to the field and then the players are not coming. What do I do? You can take a horse to the riverside. You can force it to drink. It happened to me in Dwarfs recently. When I went to coach Dwarfs, Cape Coast Dwarfs. When we had 2 matches to win, I mean to clear the hurdle, to be able to stay in the league, players were agitating for money. We are hungry. We don't have money. Management has not paid us. When the management owed you only 2 months' salary, others were owed the players, some of the teams, 6 months, 8 months, 2 months' salary. I said, go there and play. Get the team back to its stride. They didn't come to training. Some will come, my leg, coach, my here. And eventually, we drew in Hazakes, drew against the Inter. When the results came out, Dwarfs were out of the delegation. I asked them, so when the money came, will you be able to play? You are agitating for money. Money will come, but it takes time. You go and play, train and play, the money will come. They said, no, coach, we need. So eventually, when the check was brought by Nanedu, my CEO, did they have the strength to play now? Distraction. They lost. They lost the opportunity to be in the Premier Division. Now they are going to start from Division 1 back to the Premier Division. See, the long way. So that's exactly what happened in Brazil. I don't fault Kwesi for anything. If you are a professional player who has passed through the hands of first-class coaches abroad, home is home, home sweet home. You know, we nurtured you before you went there. You might have gone through there. You may say that Kwesi's training tactics were not good. But he invited you to the Black Stars. He said, come and play for the nation. You know, there was a time when Ceci Rhodes, that was Zimbabwe now, Rhodesia, Northern Rhodesia, he said, this is my country. These are my laws. Those who don't want to obey the laws must quit the country. Simple as that. You know, and like I said, Kwesi didn't have some of us like the way we talk. You know, there's a way you talk to the players. He might have gone that way. They didn't take, his words. And he's not, the government to carry money. The players, I think, also thought that the way the USA beat us, and then I think we drew with Germany, there was no way we could go out of the group stages. So we take our money, when we go and play, we qualify, fine. We don't qualify, we take our money and come home. That was exactly what happened. I think they saw that they couldn't have gone fast.
And then there will be a delay in getting the money.
Right. So they know that in Ghana, if you owe somebody, say go and come. You know,
but you also foresaw that America wasn't going to be a walkover, because you said that, listen, don't think America is going to be a walkover because of the previous two games. I
said this because Americans had then played under Bradley. On 2 occasions, they lost. Even Bradley came to Egypt and we beat them, one of them 6. Bradley was taken away. And they brought in Jürgen Klinsmann, who had seen the World Cup before, who had coached a team, you know. And they brought him to come and handle the Americans. He brought in some German Americans to come and beef up the team. The team was overhauled. He kept faith with only 3 old players who had survived the 2010 World Cup. You know. So I was on your network. I said, no, we should be very worried of the Americans. You know, once beaten, twice shy. They will not come that way again. If they lose to us, there will be mayhem in America. And the president called them, said, look, go out there and tell the world what you are made of. Obama. So you know how they were motivated. You know, lo and behold, unfortunately for us, because of the distractions, we lost concentration. They took took the ball under 1 second, the fastest in the World Cup, and scored. Before we came out playing, the die was cast. You know, when you are complacent. You know, I heard even, I mean, from the reporters who went, that some of the people on the bench, I mean, some of the big men said, oh, after America, they are our wives. We will always beat them. So there was complacency in the team. When the players said, oh, after this, when we even wake up and sleep and wake up, we will beat them. They had prepared well. From day one, when the ballot came out, they started, I mean, watching the Ghanaian players in Europe, you know, putting people on them. How do they play? What is their demeanor? How do they act? Americans are very dangerous people, you know, very dangerous. So before we landed, they had known the in and out of Ghanaian players, you know. So lo and behold, and then we went there to train. We were in America, where they have all these sophisticated machines. When they can stay here and take pictures of people in the voter region, you go and train there, and the cameras were on you. Ah, you have sold your birthright, master. You have sold your birthright, you know. So I would like to appeal to Ghanaians.
And worst of all, we're demanding dollars.
We're demanding dollars too, and then the dollar also came from America. See? So, you know, that's our birthright, you know. So I only appeal to Ghanaians that let bygones be bygones. You know, we have made mistakes. We made mistakes somewhere. Let's go forward. Let's chart the new front. Let's organize ourselves and see how best this thing will not surface in our football calendar, in our history. You know, blaming people, President Mahama, blaming somebody who didn't take money. You know, it will not. You are meddling the airways.
What should we do to bring a set of patriotism? Because you don't see, it's like people play Black Stars for the money rather than for the country. You know, how can we turn around so that?
Now, you know what? This money syndrome started from Stars 91. When we won the first World Cup, the Stars, that was 1991 or so. Yeah. When the players started going to Europe, when they were purchased to Europe, and they started getting money, coming down with cars, that was the beginning of our problems.
I see.
Before then, Ghanaian players would play without money. I mean, they were even by donning the jersey. Women in town will hail you. You know, I remember one player who is in the US now, played the match, Olympics player. I forgot, my boss, he was the teammate of my boss. I remember as the time goes on. Played a very good game in Accra Sports Stadium. Franco Doe was a white lady, you know, took this man as the husband, as the girlfriend from there. You know, you normally begin from girlfriend before you go to the proper marriage. Took him to Europe. Frank is still in Europe because of football. He didn't demand money from the Black Stars group or anything. Just playing for the national team. The guy was fished away. He has made it. You know, that patriotism is there. It's still there. But the economic situation in the country has made people see money as the last resort, you know, to get to heaven. That without money, you can't get to heaven. I'm not one of them anyway. I'm still poor. I don't know. Even my car, you know, when you saw my car is H. 6472 H. That tells you, the age of the car. I'm very happy with that. You know, I'm only hoping and praying that President Mahama will send the first minister after their press conference to come and give me one new car. But, so patriotism is still there, but now it is no more there. Money has taken over, and I don't know, the generation to come will even demand more than what others are demanding. It's a generation. We need to turn things around. Well, Coach, that's what time will allow me. I've enjoyed this very, very much, and I'm sure so have you. Folks, until I come to you next Friday with a different personality, have a beautiful week. But this is what I call personality profile.